Hello students, welcome to first PUC physics online class. So last class we discussed the concept of the purely elastic collision. Elastic collision alli ಒಂದು body movement ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು, it collide with the stationary body, then expression for the final velocity of two bodies. You obtain the two formula, one is for the v1f and another formula for the v2f. Hope you understood that derivation. Now next onwards, let us consider the collision in two dimensional collision hege anta. So for that, let us consider the one body. Say this body is moving with the velocity say v1i, and another body is here, say m2, which is at rest, so therefore v2i will be equal to 0. So here this body collide with the another one, stationary body. So what happens? And during the after collision, the first body moves along in this direction and second body moves along in this direction. And this is if it moves along in this direction, along x direction, this is along x direction. Now so here the first body moves along in this direction with the velocity say v1f, and second body moves with the velocity say v2f. So this angle I will call it as a theta 1, and this angle I will indicate it as a theta 2. Now we have to consider the collision in two dimension. Two dimensionally hege anta nodbeku. This is x direction, I will indicate it as this is x direction. Now so this body is moving, so it has some momentum. So here also this body is also moving, so therefore this body will also have a momentum. Now what is the momentum of the first body along the x direction? Similarly, what is the momentum of the first body along the y direction? We have to calculate. So the momentum of the first body along x direction, I will indicate it like here. ಈಗ ಈ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಉಂಟು, ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಮಾಸ್ ಇಂಟು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಉಂಟು, and this body will also have a momentum. I will indicate it here. So there are two momentum. So we have to indicate what is the momentum of the two bodies along the x direction. Momentum mass into velocity. So therefore first body will have the momentum that is given by, ಈಗ ಈ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ನಾವೀಗ. ಈಗ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ say this is one velocity v and this angle is theta, and if we split this vector into two components, then the component obtained along x direction as well as component obtained along y direction, that is indicated as one component is obtained here, that is indicated as a v cos theta, and here v sin theta. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುವಂಥದ್ದು v cos theta, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುವಂಥದ್ದು v sin theta. ನಾವೀಗ v ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ನಾವೀಗ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಇಂಟು ಟೂ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ obtained here? ಸೊ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ obtained ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್. ಸೊ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ m1 v1f cos theta 1, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದ ವೈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂಥ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ m1 v1f sin theta 1. So this is momentum along the y direction. Similarly, we have to split the momentum of the second body along x and y direction. So one momentum is obtained along the x direction and another momentum is obtained along the y direction. What is the momentum of the second body along the x direction? What is the momentum? The momentum of that body is given by ಈ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ the formula m2 v2f cos theta 2, and here m2 v2f sin theta 2. ಹೀಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾರ್ಫೋರ್ ಈ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಾಗ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ m1 v1f cos theta 1. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ವಿ ಇದ್ರೆ v cos theta ಬರೋದು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ m1 v1f ಇಂಟು cos theta 1, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ v sin theta ಬರೋದು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ m1 v1f ಇಂಟು sin theta 1. ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬಾಡಿದು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆವಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು m2 v2f cos theta 2, m2 v2f cos theta 2, because this angle is theta 2, and here m2 v2f sin theta 2. Now Now we have to write the momentum now. Total momentum, that is a momentum along the x direction. So in case of collision, the momentum is always conserved, isn't it? So therefore we can write it as, in collision, the momentum is conserved. Momentum is conserved. That means the momentum along the x direction, that means along x direction. What is the momentum along the x direction? Now first of all x direction ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಬೇಕು ನಾವೀಗ. So momentum is conserved means total momentum before collision, that should be called the total momentum after collision. So what is the momentum along the x direction? Total momentum before collision. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ total momentum before collision ಇದು ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು along x direction. This body is at rest. So therefore total momentum ನಾವು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ that should be equal to m1 v1i, second body 0, that should be equal to, after collision, what is the total momentum after collision along the x direction? Along the x direction ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದು ಇದು momentum, second one is this one. So therefore we can directly add because they are in the same direction. So therefore we can write it as m1 v1f cos theta 1 and second one m2 v2f ಅದು into cos theta 2. So we obtain the like this. Now here suppose if here we can write it as m1 v1i, that should be equal to m1 v1f cos theta 1 plus m2 v2f cos theta 2. I will call it as this is equation number 1. Similarly we have to write it along the y direction. What is the momentum along the y direction? Along the y direction we have to write. ಈಗ ಬಾಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ನಾವೀಗ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವೈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಕೊಲಿಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕೊಲಿಷನ್. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್, ದಿಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, this body is at rest, they are not moving along the y direction, so therefore it has no momentum along the y direction. This body is also at rest, so therefore there is no momentum along the y direction. So therefore total momentum before collision along the y direction, that will be equal to 0. And what is the momentum, total momentum after collision along the y direction? So first body will have the momentum along the y direction as like this. So m1 v1 f sin theta 1 and another momentum is along opposite to first one, so therefore we have to put it as a minus sign. Not they are adding, add ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡು opposite ಇರುವ ಕಾರಣ ಮೈನಸ್ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. So therefore m2 v2 f ಅದು into sin theta 2. So we obtain like this. So therefore we can solve this one. So we can write it as, therefore that should be equal to, so by solving this one we can write it as m1 v1 f sin theta 1, that should be equal to m2 v2 f into sin theta 2. So we obtain like this. So this is equation number 2. I will call it as equation number 2. So therefore along the x direction we obtain one formula like this, and along the y direction this is the momentum along the y direction. So this is the concept of the momentum collision of the two bodies along the two dimension. Two dimension ಅಂತ ಬರುವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ x ಮತ್ತು y ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ನ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. And in this equation, equation number 1, suppose if theta 1 and theta 2 both are equal to 0, in equation number 1, suppose if theta 1 and theta 2 both are equal to 0, what happens? ಈಗ ಈ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ theta 1 ಮತ್ತು theta 2 ಎರಡು equal to 0 ಅಂದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಶುಡ್ ಮೂವ್ಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ್ಯಂಗಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಆಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ m1 v1i, that should be equal to cos 0. Cos 0 means 1. So therefore the formula will becomes m1 v1f ಅದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ cos theta 2 ಅದು ಸಹ 0ವೇ, theta 2 ಕೂಡ 0ವೇ. So therefore cos 0 is nothing but 1. So therefore we get m2 v2f. So this formula, the above formula, that is equation number 1, will reduce us to this one. ಇದು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಇದನ್ನು. ಸೊ m1 v1i, that should be equal to m1 v1f plus m2 v2f. So this formula will holds good in this case. So hope you understood this concept. So momentum, that means we are discussing the concept of the collision in 2 dimensions. So we have tried the momentum along the x as well as along the y direction. So barita hoguvaga namige formula, one formula is this one. We have to remember the formula, one formula is this one, and second formula we have to remember this one. So there is no momentum along the y direction before the collision. Collision ಆಗುವ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತ ಸಹ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈ ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಲಾಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ therefore there is no momentum along the y direction. So after collision there is a momentum. So one body moves like this, so therefore there is some momentum along the y direction, as well as second body will also have some momentum along the y direction. So we can write it as like this. Here minus sign ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, because they are in the opposite direction. So this is a collision in 2 dimension. Now there is a one formula. Suppose if the 2 bodies are moving, one body having a mass m1 is moving with the velocity say v19, second body is also moving. Suppose if it is moving with the velocity say v2i, first body is also moving, second body is also moving, both are moving. ಈಗ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಈಗ both are moving along a straight line, and ಈಗ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ after collision what is the final velocity of the 2 bodies? ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಈಗ ಇದು collision ಆದ ನಂತರ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ is moving with the velocity say v1f, and second body is moving with the velocity say v2f. ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ is at rest, first body is only moving, but in this case both the bodies are moving with a certain velocity. First body is moving at the velocity v1i, second body is moving at the velocity v2i. So in that case what is the expression for the v1f as well as what is the expression for the v2f? So ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ v1f ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ v1f, that is final velocity of the first body, that is given by the formula. The formula is given by m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into v1i, ಅದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ 2 times m2 v2i divided by m1 plus m2. So this is a formula. Final velocity of the first body, that is given by the formula v1f, that should be equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into v1i, ಅದು plus 2 times m2 v2i divided by m1 plus m2. And second body, that is v2f, that should be equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 and into v2i plus 2 times m1 v1i divided by m1 plus m2. So this formula will hold good. Whenever the 2 bodies are moving along the straight line, then in that case the final velocity of the first body as well as final velocity of the second body in that case is given by the formula. So we have to remember this formula. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಲಿಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈಗಲೇ. So v1f, that is given by m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into v1i plus 2 times m2 v2i by m1 plus m2. So ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆವು, ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಂದರೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಸೆಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದೆವು ಅದೇ ಥರ ಈ ಡಿರೈವೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ ವಿ obtain the final equation. So v1f, that is given by this one, and second formula v2f, that should be equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into v2i and plus 2 times m1 v1i by m1 plus m2. So this formula will hold good. So we have to remember both the equation. Now by using this equation, here there is one problem. ನಾನೀಗ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗ the problem is like this. An elastic collision is occurring between the 10 kg mass moving at the speed of 5 meters per second and 10 kg mass is at rest. Calculate the velocities after collision. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್, another body is at rest ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು. First body is moving, second body is at rest. So we have to draw the diagram like this. m1 is moving at the velocity v1i, second body m2 which is at rest, so therefore v2i will be equal to 0. We have to calculate velocity after collision. So ಇದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಲೈಡ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ m1 ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, is moving with the velocity v1f, and second body is here m2 is moving with the velocity say v2f. So what is the expression we obtained in last class? Previous class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು? The formula for the v1f is equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into v1i. This is the first formula, and we have to solve this one. Similarly, what is the formula for the v2f? v2f formula is given by 2 times m1 by m1 plus m2 into v1i. We have the formula like this. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬೇರೆ, ಇದು ಎರಡು ಬಾಡಿ ಕೂಡ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಸೊ ನೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ m1 minus m2. What is the mass of the first body? 10 kg mass and 10 kg mass. So therefore 10 minus 10 by 10 plus 10 into what is the velocity of the first body? First body having a velocity is 5. So therefore this is body is 5. What is the answer? 10 minus 10. So answer is 0. So 0 meter per second. So first value will be equal to 0. v1f value will be 0. Now second one v2f, that should be equal to 2 times. What is the mass of the first body? Mass of the first body is 10 by 10 plus 10 into what is the velocity of the first body? Velocity of the first body is 5. What is the answer? 20 by 20. 20 by 20, 2 times 10, 20 by 20 into 5, that should be equal to 5 meter per second. So answer is this much. So therefore we have to remember both the formula. Main especially ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಆಚೆ ಈಚೆ ಆದರೆ ಫುಲ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So therefore velocity of the first body, that is given by 0 meter per second, and velocity of the second body in this case is given by 5 meter per second. So this formula will hold good. ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿದ್ದು ಏನದಾರು ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಎರಡು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ v1f ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ v2f ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಬಾಡೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್, ಎರಡು ಬಾಡಿ ಕೂಡ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ನೌ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. Here there is a second problem. Now second problem is like this. A bullet of mass 25 gram is moving horizontally at 200 meter per second, can penetrate a block of wood to a depth of 2 centimeter. Find the resistance of the wood. So resistance, what is the meaning of resistance? Resist ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಒಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Opposition offered by the wood on the bullet. Now the block of wood is here. This is one block of wood and bullet is moving here. Bullet is moving with the velocity of how much? 25 gram, moving with the velocity of 200 meter per second. Bullet is moving at the velocity of 200 meter per second, and this is the velocity of the bullet. Initial velocity, I will call it as initial velocity, and the mass of the bullet is given. Mass of the bullet is 25 gram. We have to convert 25 gram into kg. 25 gram into gram, kg convert ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 25 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Okay, can penetrate a block of wood to a depth of 2 centimeter. So depth ಅದಿಷ್ಟು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಗ, ಒಯ್ಲರ್ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಗ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ 2 centimeter. That's nothing but 0.02 meter. So this is a distance traveled. Distance traveled by the bullet will be equal to 0.02 meter. Now we have to calculate to find the resistance of the wood. Wood in the resistance, and finally it will stop here. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಫುಲ್ ನಿಲ್ತದೆ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗುದು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬುಲೆಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0. We have to calculate what is the resistance. Resistance is nothing but force. Resistance or force is equal to how much? So we have to calculate the value of the force now. What is the formula for the force now? Force. We have the formula for the force. F that should be equal to m into a. Mass of the bullet is given here. There is a mass. But what about the acceleration? Acceleration is not given. acceleration ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್, ಫೈನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್. But so from that value we have to obtain the value of the A. I will call this as equation number 1. And also we have the one equation. In order to calculate the value of A, we have the one equation. We have to calculate the value of A by using initial velocity, final velocity as well as the displacement. ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Which formula I have to apply here? Now we have the three equations of motion. One is the v equal to v naught plus at. Second equation is given by x equal to v naught t plus half at square, and third equation is given by v square equal to v naught square plus 2ax. ಈಗ v equal to v naught plus at ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೋದು. t is nothing but time. That in the time is not at all given, so we cannot apply that formula. And second equation is given by x equal to v naught t plus half at square. So time ಅಲ್ಲಿ half at square time function, but time is not at all given. And last equation v square equal to v naught square plus 2ax. v square equal to v naught square. v is given, v naught is also given. 2ax, x is given, yeah, okay, x is given. So this is nothing but x. I will treat this as x. So by using that equation we can obtain the value of A. So v square is equal to v naught square plus 2 into a into x. That should be equal to v square minus v naught square. That should be equal to 2 into a into x. Or a calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾರೆ v square minus v naught square by 2 times x. So we have to solve this one. That should be equal to a. That should be equal to, what is the value of v here? V value 0. So 0 square minus, what is the value of v naught? V naught is given 200 meter per second, isn't it? Yeah, meter per second, by 200 square by 2 times x. What is x? Thickness is given 0.02. It can penetrate through a distance ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 2 centimeter, 2 into 10 to the power minus 2, or we can write it as 0.02. We have to solve this one. That should be equal to, so this is 0, 200 square. So 200 square is nothing but 2 into 2, 4, isn't it? So therefore 4, 0, 0, 0, 0. 200 square. 20 into 20, 400. But this one is 200 square. So we can write it as like this, divided by 0.04. Now we have to solve this one with the negative sign. So we have to solve this problem by solving this one. 40,000 divided by 0.04 is equal to, answer obtained is 1,000,000. So with the negative sign, that much meter per second square. Or this can also be written as 10 to the power how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 to the power 6, that much meter per second square. Acceleration of that block will be equal to this much, minus 10 to the power 6 meter per second square. Now we have to write it here. Now we have to find out the value of the force. So force, that should be equal to m into E. What is mass? Mass is given 25 gram. 25 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 10 to the power minus 6, 10 to the power plus 6. So here A value is negative, that means it has retardation anta artha. So retardation value, retardation itself is negative acceleration. So we are not again putting the negative sign here. So 10 to the power 6 meter per second square. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಟಾರ್ಡೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಪುನಃ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಎ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ 10 to the power 6 meter per second square. So for that reason we are putting like this, 10 to the power 6 without a negative sign. So therefore force will be equal to 10 to the power minus 3 plus 6, that is nothing but 10 to the power 3, or we can write it as, that should be equal to 25,000 Newton. So answer obtained is 25,000, 10 to the power 3. So therefore 25 into 10 to the power 3, that is nothing but 25,000 Newton. So this is the value of the force. Resistance of the wood ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ resistance or force will be equal to this much. This much answer is obtained. So therefore by using the concept of the Newton's second law, ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲಾ ನಾವು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡದ್ದು. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲಾ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಎಮ್ ಎ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ obtaining the formula that is will be called answer is 25,000 Newton. So therefore final conclusion that is given by resistance offered by the wood that should be equal to 25,000 Newton. So this is various problems. Now we can now list out the formula. Here the chapter is over. Chapter is completely over. Now we can make some formula list. You also write some important formula. First formula coming under this chapter is given by W is equal to F into D into cos theta. That is the first formula for the work done. And second one is given by power. Power is given by W by T. Third one, power, that should be equal to F into V. And fourth one, and work done is equal to change in the kinetic energy. Work done is equal to change in the kinetic energy. Fifth one, potential energy E is equal to mgh. Sixth one, kinetic energy E equal to half m square. Next one, potential energy in a spring, the formula is given by half of k into xm square with the negative sign minus of half of k into xm square. Write down all the formulas. So where xm is the amount of elongation. Next one, eighth formula. This is a potential energy. We have the spring force. Spring force F, that should be equal to minus of k into x. Spring force that should be equal to minus of k into x. Now next one. Next which formula we have? Ninth one. Ninth one we can write it as in case of collision. In collision along straight line, we have obtained the two formula. One is for the V1F and another one is for the V2F. What is the formula? V1F is equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into V1I, and another formula 2m1 by m1 plus m2 into V1I. Yeah, m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into V1I. And in case of a 10th one, in two dimension, we can write the formula, that is V1F that should be equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into V1I plus 2 times m2 V2I by m1 plus m2. This is the one formula. And second one, V2F, that should be equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into V2I plus 2 times m1 V1I divided by m1 plus m2. So these two are the formula. This is along a straight line and this will be along in two dimension. Next one, the relationship between the momentum and the kinetic energy. The formula is given by relation between momentum and kinetic energy, that is given by E is equal to P square by 2m. This is the formula. Write down all the formula. In this chapter we are discussing this much formulas. So E is equal to P square by 2m. Next one, where P is the momentum and m is the mass of the body. Now next is different SI units. 12th one, SI unit of work, that is given by joule. And 13th one, SI unit of energy, it is also expressed in joule. Next one, SI unit of the power, it is given by watt. Next one, and 1 HP value is equal to 746 watt. Next one, 1 kilowatt hour. How much value? 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. This much is the value. 1 kilowatt hour is a unit of energy, and 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. So this much formulas arising in this chapter. Potential energy of a spring is given, spring force is given, kinetic energy concept, potential energy concept, work done by the variable force as well as by a constant force. Both will be equal to, work done is equal to change in the kinetic energy. And power is nothing but a rate of doing work. Power is also another formula, P is equal to F into V. So this much formula is coming under in this chapter. So we have to solve some variety of problems in this chapter. So but we have to make one formula list, and by using that formula list we can solve the various various problems. Hope you understood this derivation as well as formula list concept and concept of the work done. Thank you.